Class of 2019, welcome to your senior year. This is your 2019 guidance video that will share with you things that we as a guidance department think is important for you to know. I'm Mrs. Bracey, and while I may or may not be your assigned counselor, I have been asked to share this information with you on behalf of all the counselors. So let's get started. First thing I wanted to talk about is senior meetings. You will be having a senior meeting with your assigned counselor sometime over the next couple of months. Your counselor will send you a pass for this meeting. You do not need to schedule it specifically. Your counselor will see you. If you do not see your counselor before probably the end of October, please do feel free to send them an email or put in a request to see them. Otherwise, though, please don't put in a request just to see your counselor for your senior meeting. If you have specific questions or concerns, please do that, but don't put in a request just for your senior meeting. So I would like to share some resources with you. The first one is the guidance webpage, and the second one is a Canvas module. We have quite a few resources available on our guidance webpage. You get to the guidance webpage by going to the Homestead website and then guidance. And you can see we have news and updates, announcements, and then colleges that will be visiting Homestead in the near future. Additional information is found in the menu on the left. You can see we have information for SAT and ACT testing, an electronic copy of the counselor information sheet, or as we call it, the purple sheet. We have financial aid information, information about scholarships. I would like to walk you through, or at least show you, the scholarship page on the website. We have the scholarship listing split up into two separate categories, the collegiate scholarship listing and the general scholarship listing. Collegiate it takes you to links for school-specific scholarship pages. The general scholarship listing is any scholarships that we're aware of. And you can see the name of the scholarship, deadline information, and either links or how to find the application, more information about the scholarship itself, and then if it's based out of a particular school. This will be updated regularly, so please make sure you're checking the scholarship listing on the website. Finally, there's information on the website regarding transcripts. There's a link to Parchment, and then information to get your transcripts from Ivy Tech or IPFW. We also have a Canvas module, and that's in your Class of 2019 course. And you'll see the Student Services module. You can see there's, again, links to the purple sheet or the information sheet, scholarships, transcripts, financial aid, SAT and ACT testing. The student packet will be shown there as well as a link to this video later. So let's talk about SAT and ACT testing. Those dates are found on the Homestead webpage and on Canvas, but you'll sign up directly through the testing agency. Either SAT, you'll go to collegeboard.org, and for ACT, you'll go to actstudent.org to actually sign up for the testing. Your counselor is not able to sign you up. If you do qualify for a fee waiver, this would be if you're on free or reduced lunch, or if you're a 21st century scholar, please make sure you ask your counselor for a copy of a fee waiver. You do have 3 college visit days as a senior. You had 3 of them last year as a junior as well. We strongly recommend that you use those. Great way to know if a college is a good fit for you is to actually go to the campus. You have, again, 3 of those days per year. In order for a day to count as a college visit day and not one of your 10 parent excused, you must provide a note from the college to our attendance office when you get back. Again, it has to be a note or a form from admissions at the college or whoever you're meeting with, a school official. You can't just say that you met with someone and not have verification of that. On the school website was a list of college representatives that are visiting Homestead. Again, that list is on the web page. You also hear it on the announcements. If you would like to speak to a college representative, please make sure you sign up in student services at least 1 day in advance of the visit. If you would like to attend one of those visits, please make sure you sign up in student services at least 1 day in advance. Now let's walk through the college application process. There are 3 major steps: the application, your transcript, and test scores. For the application, there are 2 ways you may apply to different schools. One is directly to the school through their website, and another way is through Common App. Different schools accept applications differently, so you'll want to check their website to make sure you know how you need to apply. Please don't fill out the entire Common App if you're applying to Ball State only, because Ball State does not accept Common App. So you would do one or the other. You do not need to do both for the same school. Please make sure you're watching your deadlines though. A lot of colleges have a November 1st priority deadline. That means maybe for highly competitive programs or to qualify for any scholarships you may need to apply by a certain date. Again, November 1st is a popular one. However, if you apply to IU, for example, on November 5th, you would still get admitted to the college, but you may not qualify for, again, scholarships or admission to a particular competitive program. So make sure you're watching those deadlines. And again, all pieces of your application itself, your transcript, and your test scores need to arrive by a college by the deadline. And again, check the school's website for specific information specific to that school, because every school does things a little bit differently. For your transcript, you may send it in 2 different ways. If you're applying to a school or several schools on Common Application, you'll actually add your counselor in the Colleges tab, and there's a section called FERPA and Recommenders. Once you've added your counselor there, he or she will get an email stating that you've added them as your counselor, and they'll be able to go in and upload your transcript for you. So on Common App, once you've added your counselor will upload your transcript for you. However, if you're applying to a school that is not on Common App, you're applying directly through their website, you'll need to set up a Parchment account if you don't have one already and send your transcript that way. Please make sure with either of these steps for sending your transcript, you're not waiting until the very last minute to request. For both of these steps, it requires a person at Homestead, either your counselor or the registrar, to go in and manually upload your transcript. They're not going to be doing that at 11:58 when the deadline is midnight. So make sure you are taking the appropriate steps to make sure that your transcript, as well as the other pieces of your application, arrive to where they're supposed to be on time, well in advance of any deadlines. For your test scores, those need to be sent directly from the testing agency. Those are, again, SAT or ACT scores, and it takes about 2 weeks for those to be sent. So just like the transcript, please make sure you're not procrastinating on that and waiting to get to it later. It does take some time for those scores to be sent, and your application will not be considered to be received on time if your test scores are late. So please make sure those go directly from the testing agency, either through SAT, your College Board account, or for ACT, your ACT student account. So for your test scores, if you did not sign up for those scores to be automatically sent when you took the test, you can log back into your either College Board or ACT account, and there will be a link to send your scores. If you send them at this point after you've taken the test, they'll probably charge you. It's around $10 or $12 per score, but again, make sure each one of the colleges that you're applying to receives those test scores. Some colleges will require recommendations, some of them don't. So again, it's up to you to make sure you are checking to see if the colleges you are applying to require them or not. If you do need a recommendation, or several of them, make sure you're asking your teacher or counselor at least 2 weeks in advance of the deadline. Those letters take quite a bit of time and energy to write, and they can't typically be done in a day. So again, please make sure you're giving that adult plenty of time to write those letters for you. In addition, it's very helpful if we have either a copy of your resume or a purple information sheet filled out. And again, those can be found in Student Services, on the school website, or in Canvas. Those information sheets hold information about who you are, if you've had any barriers to your success while you've been in high school, if you've done any leadership or extracurricular activities, anything you've done outside of school, volunteer experience. It's really helpful to write a letter of recommendation if we have one of those forms to help. For financial aid, the biggest thing you can do for financial aid is making sure you complete the FAFSA. That's the free application for federal student aid. And that's how it's determined whether you qualify for any assistance, financial assistance for college based off of your family's financial situation, based off of your and your parents' income. FAFSA will be filed online. It opens up on October 1st and then closes on April 15th. I strongly recommend that you don't wait until April 15th to file the FAFSA. The earlier you file, the better. If you or your parents need some more help or more information about financial aid, we have 2 parent nights, one in October and one in February. Those will both start at 6:30 p.m. They're held in the community room. And last for usually around 2 hours. We have a speaker who is financial aid director at a local college that comes and gives some information about financial aid and is able to answer questions. So please feel free and encourage your parents to come to those financial aid nights. Some feedback that we often get from families at Homestead is that they don't feel that it's necessary to complete the FAFSA because based off of their financial situation, they don't feel that they'll probably qualify for any assistance. That's a family decision. What we typically recommend, though, is to go ahead and complete the FAFSA anyways. Some colleges, IU for example, may require the FAFSA to be completed even for merit-based scholarships. So again, I strongly recommend you complete the FAFSA even if you don't think you'll need to, just in case you're in that situation where it's required for any other scholarships. Again, do make sure you're watching that scholarship listing on the Homestead webpage and on Canvas. But the vast majority of scholarships, or a good chunk of scholarship money, typically comes from the college or university you're interested in. So please make sure you're not missing those college-specific scholarships, either given as freshmen. Sometimes college scholarships are guaranteed based off of how you've done in high school. Sometimes you'll need to apply for freshman-specific scholarships. Sometimes there's an additional application. So it can really just depend on the college, so just make sure you're doing the legwork on that. Other information, online classes through BYU, often it's PE, but there's other classes that may be taken as well. Those must be completed by December 22nd. That gives us time, if something would happen with that online class, we have time for you to take it second semester to make sure that you do graduate. Every year we have students that don't finish their online classes or fail an exam that are not able to participate in the graduation ceremony because of a class like PE. So please make sure you're completing your classes well in advance of any deadlines to make sure that you are able to participate in the graduation ceremony. Senior Career Day is October 10th. That's the day that sophomores and juniors will be taking the PSAT. We release seniors on that day to do either a college visit or a job shadow. You should get a form that needs to be signed by a parent and turned into the attendance office with what your plan is for that day. Do keep in mind with either of those options, you do have to provide verification of where you actually were after the fact. So if you do a college visit, again, remember you need either a letter or a form from the admissions office telling us where you were. If you do a job shadow, we need something on company letterhead verifying where you were. You cannot just stay home for the day and call it a college visit. Also be cognizant of your attendance. That's something that we have issues with every year with seniors. Administrators are able to pull privileges from students, so attending prom, senior activities day, driving privileges can be pulled if you have problems with attendance. Please make sure you're keeping in mind you only have 10 parent excuse days. If you use all of your 10 parent excuse days and then get sick in the spring, you're out of luck. So please make sure you're really careful with those 10 parent excuse days. Your attendance in general is important even as a senior. Finally, graduation information. Graduation will be held Sunday, June 2nd at the Coliseum. The ceremony will start at 4 p.m. There's a mandatory practice approximately 1:15 p.m. That information will be confirmed later. You do have to attend the practice in order to participate in the ceremony. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a good senior year, and we hope to see all of our seniors at the graduation ceremony on June 2nd at the Coliseum.